everyone. Welcome to another Physio Friday. Today I wanted to take some time and expand on a topic that I started talking about a number of weeks ago, and that is areas of pediatric physiotherapy and when it might be appropriate to bring your little one in for some physiotherapy. So previously I had done a video where I was talking about kind of the newborn phase, breastfeeding concerns, torticollis or a tight neck, and flat spots or head shape concerns. So if that's kind of the age range that you are in currently with your little ones, or that's kind of what you're interested in, scroll back and find that video. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about gross motor milestones and kind of our 3-month to 9-month and kind of on from there. And when it may be appropriate to bring your kiddo in for a physiotherapy assessment. So once kiddos are kind of out of that newborn phase, they're starting to get some head control, some movement. When is physiotherapy a good idea, or when was bringing your baby in for a consult worth your while? So one of the things that you may notice when your little one starts to roll, in particular, you might notice that they develop a very strong preference to rolling in one direction and not the other. So when it comes to gross motor milestones, in general, we love to see symmetry. So we like to see babies reaching with both hands. When they start to discover their feet, we like to see both hands grabbing for their feet. One of the kind of first milestones that we look for is rolling from belly to back. And with that, we like to see that baby will roll consistently to the right side and to their left side. What can happen if they have underlying tightness in some of their muscles or a torticollis in their neck is that if they're tight on one side, they're kind of already halfway, or not halfway, but they're kind of predisposed to rolling in a certain direction. So for me, if my neck is kind of like this and I'm on my belly, it's going to be a lot harder for me to get myself over to roll this way than it is to start here and just kind of go with the direction of my head tilt. Same thing goes for a tight shoulder, tight trunk muscles. If a kiddo's already kind of halfway there, they're just going to consistently start to roll in that direction. Same thing goes later on when they're starting to roll from back to belly. If they're tighter on one side, especially in like a hip joint, they're going to be kind of predisposed to rolling in that other direction. Other milestones that we start to see when they get to be a little bit older, pulling up to stand. So when kiddos start crawling over to like coffee table or couches, take a look and see if they're alternating which leg comes up. So when they go to pull themselves up, do they always bring one leg up and then pull from there, or will they go back and forth? Ideally, again, symmetry, we like to see roughly approximately 50-50 side to side. I have a lot of new moms who are very diligent about this, and they will count, okay, it's been 2 times leading with your left leg, we got to do 2 times leading with the right leg. When we say symmetry or 50-50, we mean that in a very broad term. So don't get too hung up on it. If they're alternating side to side, that's all that we really are looking for more than anything else. Another kind of in between there before they're starting to pull to stand, crawling is another motor milestone. That kind of army crawling first of all, and then we call it like true crawling on 4 points, so hands and knees crawling. In general, if that's something that baby is starting to do, if they're delayed in that, that's a thing that physiotherapy can help to encourage or help to teach them how to do that, or look for like an underlying reason that might be stopping them or making crawling more difficult for them to achieve. Once kiddos are walking and have been walking consistently for a while, they're kind of in that like 1.5 to 3, 4, 5 years old. Sometimes some of the things that I see is parents coming in with concerns that their kiddo is toe walking, is a common one, or walking with toes really like pointed in or pointed out. Knock knees is another one that we see pretty commonly. All of these aren't necessarily like cause for concern, but there's a reason why your kiddo is doing that, right? And so that's kind of where physiotherapy comes in, is we like to see like what is the reason that's causing this, and is it something that we can help with? Sometimes it truly is just a preference thing or a habit that kiddos have gotten into, and we just have to do a little bit of work to get them out of that habit or introduce more variety of movement. And sometimes there is something else going on underlying. So any of those sorts of things, it's worth coming in and having an assessment done to see if there's anything that we can do. And then once kiddos are older, kind of school age, of course, all of these same things apply. Hip, knees, feet, all of kind of the things we talked about before, but then also sports injuries as kiddos get older. We are more than happy to treat sports injuries in kids the same as we do in our adults. So I hope that that's helpful, gives you some things to look out for in your kind of like 2-month-old to 5-year-old kind of age range. But of course, if you have any questions, concerns, or even if you're just like, hey, like I would just like to bring my kiddo in and get a general assessment done, that's something that we are more than happy to do as well. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Take care.